It's great working here in the Bay Area. I live here, and I love working here because everybody gets my name right. It's Jill Maragos. I did some shows up in Seattle, about 5 shows, and the guy got my name wrong every time. He kept calling me Julie. I'm like, why are you calling me Julie? And he's like, I don't know, you just look like a Julie. He says, I have this friend Julie, if I put you side by side with Julie, I don't think I can tell you guys apart. You're like spitting images of each other. And I couldn't say anything to the guy. I got his name wrong a bunch. His name was Spencer, and I kept calling him asshole. He's like, why are you calling me asshole? I'm like, I don't know, you just look like an asshole. I have this friend with an asshole, okay? If I put you side by side with his asshole, I do not think I can tell you guys apart. You're shitting images of each other. Spent about 4 years living down near Los Angeles in a town called Van Nuys. Yeah, everybody groans for Van Nuys. Exactly. It's not a great place. It's where all of the porn in our country is made, all of it. There's a lot of crime. We had a guy who lived across the street from us, and he sold meth out of a boat in his front yard. We called him Pablo Escobar. We also had a 90-year-old neighbor. The guy refused to get his dog neutered. Every morning we'd have to see this long, hairy, disgusting set of balls just dragging down the driveway. And then his dog would come up behind him and you know, you live in a bad part of town when Jehovah's Witnesses come by every day. And they did. They knocked on our door every day while we were eating dinner. And here's the thing, I don't know a lot about Jesus because I was raised Catholic. We didn't have to know. It wasn't part of the deal, okay? We showed up, we drank wine, we put money in a pool skimmer, and we went home. Like, that was it. That was the whole thing. I do know for a fact that Jesus does not want anybody knocking on my door while I'm eating dinner. And I have proof. I do. It's the painting of the Last Supper. Everybody has seen it, right? Jesus is in the middle. He's got his disciples on either side, and Jesus is doing this. That's because Jehovah's Witnesses just knocked on the door. Like, I'm not getting up. No, it's my Last Supper. No. So help me, I'm not doing it. I had this friend who couldn't understand why we lived in Van Nuys. We had a couple dogs. We needed a place with like a yard and a fence, and that's what you could afford down near LA. And here's how much money this woman has. She just bought her son for his 16th birthday a brand new Mercedes. I know. I was like, you're buying him a Mercedes? And she goes, well, it's just a C-Class. Like, that's like saying you're fucking a Hemsworth, but it's just Liam. You know what I mean? Still a pretty good ride, is what I'm saying. I know that all sounds very oppositional. I come from a long line of very oppositional women. I can't help it. My grandmother is like the worst out of all of us. Like, this one time, she's like, look at that dumb bitch wearing white after Labor Day. I'm like, Grandma, it's my wedding. So horny. She's so horny. I'd hear about her having sex with my grandfather and his brother, and I'm like, this is too much. I can't now. And she broke her hip when she was 90, and because I'm home all day, they made me go out and like interview places, which is awkward. Like, I had to go into these like nursing homes and be like, okay, I gotta ask this question. Is this one of those places where all of the old people are having sex with all the other old people? Because we have to have that. Was at the top of her list. And this is weird, but I will tell you guys this happened. She wanted me to help her start a website where she sold her dirty granny panties online. I know. I'm like, I'm not doing that. She goes, no, it'll be great. We'll call it Britches Be Crazy. I worried that I was going crazy like my grandmother and my mother, and I went to a therapist, and I said to the therapist, okay, look, you have to help me. Like, I am going crazy. And the therapist said to me, you can't be crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, crazy people aren't concerned that they're going crazy. So I'm like, so I'm okay? And she goes, no. She's like, you're neurotic, you're just not crazy. And I thought that was the same thing. I thought a neurotic person was crazy. And she's like, no, it's very simple. I can break it down for you. And this is what she told me. She said, a neurotic person will have an unpleasant thought, sometimes, sure. But then afterwards, they'll think, well, wait, it's something that I can work on. It's something I can personally change about myself. A crazy person will have that exact same unpleasant thought. Okay, but then afterwards, they'll think, I'm really glad I voted for Donald Trump. That's as political as I get. I do want to be healthy, and I work at it a little bit. I work at, trying to be as sane as I can be. I'm a married person. Anybody here clap if you've been married for 10 years or longer? Wow. I love to ask this. Anybody here been married for the first time for a year or less? Congratulations. That's a good thing. Don't worry, I'm not going to pick on you. I mean, this is your bleak future, so I'm sorry, but here's the thing, okay, after about 10 years of marriage, and then the rest of you guys can back me up on it, sex kind of becomes like Wendy's chili, okay? No, it's good, it's very consistent, it's just sometimes you find a finger where you weren't expecting it. Very uncomfortable laughter for that joke. As it should be. And I love my husband. Like, I've known my husband for a long time. So, like, the guy that I dated before my husband, this was like 20 years ago. And that's what, and it was weird with him, okay? Because he was hot, okay? He was 6'4", he was a Marine, and just like had that chiseled jaw and like no body fat. It was so sexy. But he wasn't good in bed. And that's weird, like somebody that hot not being good in bed. Like that's like somebody handing you the keys to their Lamborghini and you get it out on the freeway and you step on the gas and then it sucks at sex. He had a tattoo on his arm and it's a God, country, Corps. Like what does that mean? He said that means that God comes first and then our country and then the Marine Corps. I'm like, oh, I get it. You think you're God because you always come first. Groan all you want. I wasn't on the list. I didn't come at all, so I don't care. I had to break up with him, and it was not easy because I was like, I want to break up, and he's like, no. I don't know how to respond to that. And finally, I'm like, I figured it out. I'm like, I have to speak Marine to this guy. This is how it works. And I'm like, all right, I want you to focus up. I want you to think of my vagina as a war zone, okay? Technically, you are here under false pretenses, and I just want you to pull out. And it worked. He did it. It was 20 years ago. He took orders from Bush. But keeping sex interesting after this long, it's not easy. And I found a seminar taught by a guy who's been married for 65 years. And I'm like, this guy has seen some shit, and I want to know everything, okay? But what I forgot about a guy who's been married for that long is that he is about 90 years old. And he started out the seminar by saying, I've been married for 65 years, and my wife and I still have a very healthy, active sex life. You know, the woman next to me is like, oh, isn't that so beautiful? I'm like, no, it's gross, okay? No, it's so gross, because I've never seen two 90-year-olds going at it, all right? In my head, it looks like you're just slowly pushing together 2 plates of pudding. No. You'll never unsee that, never. So yeah, he had some good suggestions. He's like, okay, you're gonna be trying some new stuff, so you have to have a safe word. I'm like, all right, well, I've just been using no. I'm like, can I keep using no? And he's like, it can't be no. I'm like, okay, then I want Celine Dion, okay? I just think it'd be fun once to be like, Celine Dion, get your finger out of my asshole, you know? Plus, my husband hates Celine Dion. Like, he can't stand her. If I say Celine Dion while we're having sex, her heart will go on, his heart on won't. Like, it's over. That is a good safe word, okay? Here's the other suggestion he had, and you guys can, everybody can do this, it's so easy. He just said every other month, once a month, you guys take turns coming up with something new to try. So each person does it like 6 times a year. Low pressure, you discover new things you like about sex, and it actually works out okay. And so I told my husband, I'm like, you go first, what do you got? And he goes, okay, why don't you role play as a nurse? Like, I can do that, it's so easy. I gave him a bunch of paperwork to fill out. And I made him sit in the living room for an hour. His copay was huge. You're gonna have sex with you, you're sick. It's so gross. Good times. Yeah. Things have changed a lot, like since we got married. So I've known him for 18 years, and we didn't meet online. I think it seems kind of fun. Like, people make jokes about online dating. I'm like, I think it's kind of interesting, you know? I have a friend who does it. He got a text from a girl and got really excited because he's like, she's hot and nerdy. Like, really? Nerds get laid now? That's cool. I'm like, I went to school for mechanical engineering. I didn't get laid, okay? I got the nickname Jill Nye the Science Guy. So, like, if she's getting laid for being a nerd, her text better be outstanding. Let me see it. And he shows me the text that he got from the girl, and it says, I want to be the rhombus to your triangle. Don't try to figure it out. You can't. There's no mathematically inaccurate. It makes no sense. I'm just saying, a nerd would have been a little bit playful and creative. Like, a nerd would have said something like, hey, you're really hot, and I would just love to give your logarithm. Or how about some fraction action? You can be on top and be the numerator. I will denominate the shit out of you. Let's do some long division. I'll be the 100, you can be the 2, you can go into me 50 times. And yes, I will write those down for you after the show. Somebody always asks. I'm always asked. Don't worry, I got you. Waxing's a thing now too. Women pay money to get the hair ripped out of the crotch. I don't have to do that. I got grandfathered in. I'm not changing shit. No. When we got married, we said for better or for worse. It's worse. I don't know. That's how it goes. It's not good. I have a friend who's like, you don't get it all taken out. Just get a little landing strip put in. Like, landing strip, this is not Chicago O'Hare, okay? If he doesn't know where to land the plane, shouldn't he find a different airport? I don't understand. I prefer an experienced pilot for my cockpit, so no. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. I trim it up, it looks fine. It's like my mom always said, if you don't like it, don't eat it. More for someone else. Dick pics are a thing now too, that's a thing, yeah. In all the years I've known my husband, he's never sent me a picture of his dick, because he loves me. And I'm not saying that dicks are gross, okay, because we already know that, they're super gross, okay? Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of their work. I love what they do, but I don't want to look at it because it's gross. It's like the Steve Buscemi of body parts. No. I don't know why you'd send a picture of it either. It's a tool. It doesn't mean you know how to use it. It's like, you know, it's like, I don't want to see a picture of a snowblower just plow the goddamn driveway when it needs it. I don't understand why you do that. And it's not the dick so much as the balls. They're gross. Okay? They're like the ugly friends that have to be in every picture, just like, hey, hey, hey. No, no. Balls are the reason the word ugh was invented. Do not send women pictures. Send her a picture of your clean apartment with your rescue dog in it, and she'll have sex with you immediately.